everybody that was part of this live broadcast yesterday. And I want to believe that every one of you have gotten something very, very vital, some couple of information that we shared yesterday. And I said I was going to continue today. So, but before I go further, um, you know the way we operate. Please do well to follow us. If you are viewing this live stream from Facebook, give us a like, and of course share this broadcast. Of course, if you are also viewing this live stream, okay, because I'm streaming both on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you're coming on this YouTube, give us a thumb like as you're watching, as you're joining this video. And you can also subscribe if you're yet to do so. And so today we're going to be talking about how to navigate the Lagos real estate market part 2. And yesterday I gave an extensive explanation on the typologies of land. I talked extensively on various types of land. I talked about the freehold, I talked about the global acquisition, and I also talked about the committed acquisition. So in case you missed it, not to worry, that video is on my profile. You can check our videos and you'll see it. And today I also intend to continue, and I was actually explaining why we have this endless problem of not allocating. Of course we all understand what is trending right now, okay? And it's actually Mr. Scott versus P1 real estate, and a lot of people have been called and they've been talking extensively about this. So I am going to continue today, but I'm not going to be discussing what has actually transpired between Mr. Scott and P1 real estate. I'm not here to talk about that. My focus basically is to educate my investors so that they will not fall in a situation whereby they will also have to start calling out real estate developers. So I gave some important points yesterday, so I would recommend that you go over it, because today I don't intend to go back with that. I just want to continue from where we talked. So I was talking about one of the things you need to know, how to avoid situations of delayed or no allocation. And I explained that one of the reasons why some real estate companies could not allocate was due to the fact that many of them had issues with land grabbing. And I also mentioned very well that apart from that, many real estate companies bought committed properties, and because of that, Lagos state government have taken full possession of that. And the sad of all basically is that a reliable information reaching me right now is also confirming, though I'm here to confirm it from my head, but two of my colleagues who are also in the business of land banking called my attention to the fact that, can you believe that some real estate companies, despite the fact that they have lost large amount of properties simply because they bought committed lands in Lagos, that it is a pitiable situation that they are still buying committed lands in Abeokuta and also in Ibadan. So if that is confirmed to be true, then I would come to the conclusion basically that these guys don't have conscience, if that is confirmed to be true. So I'm going to continue with that, but on today's episode, I'm going to be shifting focus basically on other types of real estate investments that you should consider. If you are a land banker, okay, you have bought properties, you have bought properties in Ekpe, you bought properties. I'm going to be giving a simple analysis, and you also need to understand some of these things that I'll be discussing. Now, if you have been buying acres of untitled lands in different parts of Lagos, there's a need for you to evaluate. Now, I said it yesterday that circumstances like this that must have happened should not discourage you from taking advantage of Lagos. In one of my podcasts, I shared basically, I think yesterday too, I mentioned it, Okay, it was not a conversation I discussed here. Now, one of the reasons why Lagos will remain the focal point, okay, for real estate activities in Nigeria, basically, is that Lagos is a choice destination. Lagos basically is a location that the high net worth individuals hold very, very dear. It has come to our notice basically that the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road project is an intentional project by the government. A lot of people have asked that what exactly is the possibility if that project will be completed. Now, I'm not here to probably discuss the possibilities or talk about this. I'm here to open your realities to the fact that regardless of the bittersweet experience you might have had investing in Lagos, I would say basically that you should not rule out, okay, in getting the best of Lagos State real estate markets. Now, I have been doing a study for some time now, and one of the things I got to discover basically is due to the fact that the Lagos State real estate market is a gold mine. It is. Um, I'm going to explain by giving two different scenarios. I was doing because I used to do a lot of evaluation. I used to do a lot of um, research, due diligence, study, and I've come to realize that there are some things you must understand for you to get your real estate investment right in Lagos. Now, when we talk about getting it right, now you have seen from a convincing standpoint right now that if you continue to use the same pattern of investment, if you continue to use the same strategy that has not worked, you will keep be losing money. I have to say this. Now, if you have been land banking for a very long time and you found out that you have not gotten the value of the property, then I think it's very important for you to change your investment strategy, because you see, regardless of all the unpleasant situations or some of the unpleasant experiences you might have encountered, that still does not cancel the fact that people are making millions and good return from their real estate investment. Now, I was somewhere a few weeks ago. I wanted to do a podcast with a real estate developer. That was a few months ago. And one of the things I realized basically was that I made an arrangement with the developer, and he said he was going to be busy, and that if it was not possible for me to go home that night, that he was going to get me a shortlet in the Ikeja axis of Lagos, because the developer's office is in the Ikeja. So I said, okay, fine. If that should be the case, that is a good one. And when we started checking and we started making online reservation, and I found out that to lodge, for some of us who are familiar with Ikeja, the GRA axis, the axis John GRA axis, was where I wanted to lodge. And the shocking basically was that to stay for one night in a studio. Now, a studio apartment is an apartment where the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedroom and the living room are in the same place. Is not the same, okay, to a one-bedroom apartment. And when we're making reservation, shocking, for just one night, I was to lodge into that shortlet apartment for from I think from 5. We're supposed to do the shoots 10 a.m. the next day, and the cheapest studio apartment in that axis was charged for 120,000 for one night. So if they say, the shocking thing basically was that for the fact that I was deliberating, myself and the developer, I won't like to mention his name for security purpose. So while we're trying to think if it was a good deal, if it was expensive, we were telling her how much did they charge hotel. I didn't even know that even the hotel was even way more expensive. By the time we were able to make up our mind, that same unit was booked. There was no available space in that shortlet. Now, you need to understand as a real estate investor, there are some important dynamics that is dominating the Lagos State real estate market. The market is shifting towards the dimension, or is shifting towards a point where you must understand that you cannot continue to do the same pattern of real estate investment. Now, when I say you cannot continue to do the same pattern, now the same pattern of investment basically has been buy land, it for a while, sell it off. Buy apartment, rent it for a while, sell it off. Now, is that pattern a very, very good model? Is it profitable? Yes, it is. But you need to understand that change basically is inevitable, and having a thorough understanding of what is dominating the industry is very, very important. Now, when I talk about what is dominating the industry, one of the things I'm trying to say in essence, basically, is that you must understand that real estate investment in Lagos is changing as civilization and technology is continuing to what? Is continuing to expand. There were days that if you want to book a shortlet, basically, you have to call an agent, you have to call. Now, there are some companies today that if you have their app, you can book. The amazing thing basically is that these guys have a good transportation service that will pick you from the location. Let's say, for instance, you're coming from the international airport. You will book for this location and they will pick you, and they have good hospitality. Now, I actually did a video. I'll be releasing that video very soon, where I was talking extensively and giving clear indicator like a shortlet apartment gradually replacing hotel accommodation. So in that video, I give some insightful tips. So watch out for that video. So I'm thinking basically that today is today is Wednesday. Okay, so I may release that video next week because I may even release it this Sunday. So watch out for that video. But what I'm trying to say basically is that the pattern of real estate investment is changing. So there are other profitable available real estate options that you need to consider. And this is why you must create a portfolio that will capture the important sector or the important parts of real estate investment. It is very important. Excuse me, please. So it is very important that your investment has a robust portfolio. Now, talking about this robust portfolio, you need to understand that I have real estate investors who have bought shortlets from me, and these investors are being paid 350,000 naira on a monthly basis. Now, there are some shortlet apartments that pays more. That means that when you look at the cost of construction, the cost of maintenance, the cost of equity, by the time you are able to sum up all of these costs and you look at what you have been able to earn within 1 to 2 years, you would have noticed or realized, okay, that it is way, way more profitable for me to own studio apartments on 1-bedroom apartments in central locations. When I'm talking about central, I'm talking about key area where there is demand. Right now, what many people don't understand is that the demand for shortlets has increased by 75%. That is a clear indicator, or what this simply means is that there are preferences, okay, for shortlets. Now, I have a video where I gave an extensive video, so I won't be going into that. So just Just watch out for that video and you will have a clear understanding. So if your own pattern of investment is to be buying 5 acres, okay, in an unknown location, or you're buying 10 acres in an unknown location. Now, if your investment goal basically is to tie down your earnings in those areas, and you're not looking forward towards like something where the return is very, very rapid, like you're looking at, okay, I want to hold this property for 5, 6 years. Now, land banking might be a best investment for you. It is. It might be a very, very profitable, nice investment for you if your intention, okay, is to land bank, and if your intention is not immediate return. But if you are a lover of regular cash flow, then land banking is not good for you. And that is why sometimes when I'm having consultation with real estate investors, I've had interactions with some of these people. And one of the things I've been able to explain basically is that what exactly are you looking forward to achieve as you are buying? Don't just buy properties because it's being projected. You must have a good intention and, of course, a return that can pay you. Now, I have some couple of real estate investors that today they are buying lands. They are buying lands from real estate companies. They bought lands from Amen and the likes. And what these people have done basically is that they've been able to structure out a payment plan, okay, that works for them. The amazing thing basically is that for every payment that these people are doing for that property, they are not using their hard-earned money. They are using the proceed from their Shortlet apartment to pay off from this property. So that means one thing I've come to realize from these people is that they bought cash flow first, and they are now using the proceed from that cash flow investment to buy other properties. So if you have been looking at, someone actually reached out to me recently, and there was some question we talked about. One of the things I got to realize basically is that there's a way you can position your real estate investments. Can you hear me? Okay, there's a way you can position your real estate investment to the point, okay, that your investment can get you other investments. So why should I prioritize Shortlets? Now, from previous experiences, from previous chatting, dragging on social media, we have now come to now realize from every clear indicator that land banking to an extent is gradually becoming an investment that cannot pay you as the Shortlet will. Now, when it now comes to Shortlet, there are 3 important things you need to understand. This video is going to be very, very short because I'm going to be talking about 3 important things. Now, let's go back to the lines of history. In 2020, I bought a property in the Fulu axis of ibeju-lekki. A plot of land as at that time sold for 700,000. So I bought 2 plots. I was on a payment plan. Now the joy I had basically was that I didn't just buy. The deal was so good to be ignored. So I just felt, okay, fine. I'm a carrier of good news. Let me talk about talk to some people. Now I found out that there were people who spent 10 million, 8 million, 15 million, 20 million to buy acres in that place. Now we bought it because we had a projection for that location. The projection is that as at that time was that as at 2020, by 2025, that property should be paying us. Now I'm going to explain the reason why we got it wrong. Now, why we got it wrong basically was that we overestimated the company that sold to us. Because they gave us this falsified data to prove that in this time, this would have been done, this would have been done, this would have been done. Sir, sir, Rara, sir. Sorry about that. So they gave us these statistics that in 3 years, in 4 years, in 5 years, we should be able to be that property as a 700,000 would have been worth, let's say, 15 million, 10 million. Ignorantly, we overestimated the developers. Unknowing to us, we never knew that we were being played. Now, the painful thing basically was that as at the time that we bought that property, an average apartment in Yaba then was selling for 8 million, 9 million. Like as average studio, not because let me so for 5, 8, 9 million, you could get a studio apartment, furnish it, put it on an annual rental of 450,000. Now I'm doing a breakdown. Okay, so because the reason why I'm explaining this is that I really don't want you as a real estate investor to repeat the same mistake we made. I know some couple of guys that they bought 20 million, some bought 30 because a lot of people bought acres. Of course, we're buying land very close to the Dangote refinery. You don't buy one, you don't buy two. Just like the way the real estate investors, the marketers, they projected it to us. So they advised us. So I know some couple of guys that they spent 15 million, some 10 million, some 8 million, some millions buying acres. Meanwhile, we could get a good studio apartment as at that time for, let's say, 5, 6, 8, 10 years lease in Yaba, Surulere for 5, 8, 6 million, and we put that studio in like 450,000, 500,000 annual rent. The side of thing was that it didn't occur to us that instead of buying those land banking, those 700k land, all we needed to do as at that time was to gather and get, because as at that time, Shortlet was not at its peak. Now you must understand basically that when it comes to real estate, okay, there are some times where properties are at their all-time peak. Yes, we need to understand that. So what was very, very conversant as at that time basically was like, okay, fine, you have 1, 2, 3 studio apartments. Now, if I had known, I would have bought 3, 4, 5 studio apartments today. All those lands now that are very close to the airports, all those lands that are very close to the refinery that would see of those, I would have been using the rents that my tenants are paying me for my properties, my studio or 1-bedroom apartment on the mainland. I'd have been using that rent to be buying all this property. So that was the error we made. And well, we learn. We learn every day. So Shortlet apartment has tremendous benefits. It has so many benefits. And this is why it is very important that you understand the way it works. You must understand that when you are doing Shortlet apartment, you diversify. You don't put all your Shortlets in one location. The most important thing is that you look at, the mistake many real estate investors are making basically is that they are always buying where they like. I'm not saying you should buy where you don't like, but if I were to be in your shoe, I will buy where the market is at its performance, at its peak performance. And A lot of people are making that mistake. So they will say, I don't like the mainland. You don't have to like the mainland. If the mainland is going to give you a good rental income, buy it. Use the funds to do other projects. If you're tired of it, flip it, add money, and buy another one. That is how you're supposed to repeat this cycle of investment. So the error I made at that time was that I had a lot of properties that some developers are fenced. Someone said a fenced and gated bush. That today I'm not making 1 naira from it. I'm not making 1 naira. So, a lot of people have said, um, don't worry, the property will be worth 5 million, 6 million. The reality basically is that who is going to buy it from you? Because there is no need for that property if the developer that have sold will not prioritize putting infrastructure there. So, dear real estate investors, owning multiple shortlet apartments, either on the island or on the mainland, is one of the bravest real estate investment decisions you can make now. Now, I know a lot of people have said shortlet is very, very expensive. A lot of people have said the payment plan, sometimes I've reached out to some couple of real estate investors and they said the payment plan is not friendly. And let me quickly say this. Well, I admit to the fact that the payment plan might not be as friendly as you might have expected, but you need to understand that the developers that are building with high interest loans, and that is why the payment plan cannot exceed. I know some developers in Yaba that they don't do beyond 9 months. So if you cannot pay the entire money within 9 months, sorry, that project is certainly not for you. So we need to start looking at all these things. Now, why should you own shortlets? Number one, shortlet gives you a steady inflow of revenue. While your rental property will give you inflow annually, which is not entirely bad, a well managed and structured shortlet gives you income on a monthly basis. And in a number of years, if you earn regular income on a monthly basis, in a number of years, you would have almost recouped 40-50% of what you have used. Now, that obviously is not a trademark for evaluating how do I say it now, for evaluating the worth of that property, because you see, if you intend to flip it, do you understand? You will flip it for more and you get good return. So whether you are in diaspora or you are in Nigeria, you need to understand that there are some tremendous change to this industry, and the era of buying land, fencing bush right now is gradually going off the cycle, except if you are buying land for farming. But so I would not say I will put 50 million, 20 million, 10 million to buy acres that would not give me anything when I can buy a shortlet apartment for 40, 45 million for a studio, and I'll be earning 300, 400, 500 on a monthly basis. When you look at that in the number of circle, I am getting the good return. And so that is why you need to understand basically that when you're investing in real estate, it is good to have a balanced real estate portfolio. You have some investments that you must have done for land banking. Then you have some farm where you are making money from your agricultural project. You also have residential properties when you're making good. You have commercial properties if you are a lover of money like me. Not like love of money, like if you love good returns just like me, you can do that. Then shortly give you the regular inflow. So what must you now do? I'll be talking about some few shortly project that is ongoing. Basically, we have one at Abramadesoya, which is the Dawn Hill. And one basic thing about that project is that there's been a price increase. Before, the two-bedroom was around 75, right now is 80. It's located in Lekki Scheme 2, which is a fantastic location. It also comes with a premium plan. Of course, if you still want to do for 75, of course, there's a way we can negotiate with the developer. That will not be a problem because I think the increase just took effect So there will be considerations for anybody. Then I also have the Brooks End in Anthony, Maryland. I believe you must have been saying that. Now, why will I go for shortlet? Now, we have two types of shortlet income. We have shortlets that are jointly managed, and we have shortlets that are privately managed. Okay. I'll be doing this, the continuation of this tomorrow. I got a message right now. I'm so sorry. We'll continue this by tomorrow. Thank you.